Any other documents to be submitted? You can kindly submit them. When did you write the letter? Oh, that's gonna be an excuse. And Madam, based on what we have in our file, these letters were sent since on the 13th. Maybe communication breakdown. Okay, so now what we want is you can update the committee or the clerk based on your correspondence, the current ones. So yes, so yeah, so you can now update your correspondence because when we write to institutions or any other how to call it stakeholders, we expect them to comply. So that's why we always write. This we give a grace period of at least 48 hours. So that's why. So we can understand that. Okay. I think he's a concern. He said he didn't see them. So exactly. So you can tell them you now split them into phases. No, no. I think they are in the letter.
I think for business. Time they commit, most of the time they say engaging TSU for operations, still there are problems.
What?
We have been engaging TSU,
Security areas.
we have been engaging the TSU, or GT board has been engaged TSU to control the system, but still these problems are still existing. The third one also about the ferry crossing.
About the
Ferry crossing,
Red Cross, yeah.
the Para. As we know, the tourists are here with a very limited time. And there are a lot of problems to cross. There are a lot of delay. So that has caused a lot of problems also for the drivers. If there could be any way of arrangement to facilitate the easy movement of easy crossing of the drivers, that will be very helpful. Two, our major concerns are we need a garage all hotel end. This was our ever cry or complaint to this house. But up to today, this is few, or it could be addressed. Among all the industry, there is only one garage, that is BB. Other than BB, still now we don't have. Although they are being allocated some temporal garages, which is not permanent, and we need a permanent garage. And this will help us to control so-called these bombsers around the industry. Because without a garage, we find it very difficult to control. So garage will help us a mechanism of controlling system for a better civilized society. And again, about these two operators, we find that they are taking most of our business from us. But we can say it all has been centered on this inclusive. Because most of these tourists has been paid to these hotels or the tour operators. So even the business we have now, all the trips have been hired, we pay to them. So we find it very limited. In fact, we have no business, I can say, just to go say they couldn't come. Or when the tourists arrived, all business have been paid to these tour operators.
That when the tourists are coming, they pay in full.
Inclusive.
Inclusive package.
Inclusive package. And this is our ever complaint. Definitely, from in this August house, I've been complaining from last year that, look, we need to find a solution to this problem. Inclusive is not our favor. Among all the stakeholders, 99% of all stakeholders say no to this inclusive. But why are you still maintaining this inclusive? If you are to maintain policy for us for our betterment, why, if we complain we don't need this, why still keeping it in place? Whose interest? That's our complaint with this house. But up to now, this cannot be addressed. We don't know why. There are a lot of letters being put into this issue, but up to now, nothing can be done about this. And without this problem being solved, we believe this tourism in this Gambia is not going to be favorable for the poor people. It's going to the rich people, from rich to rich. Most of the Gambians cannot benefit from the tourism. With this inclusive system, no. Because all has been paid package to the hotels or to the operators, ground operators. So I believe these are some of the things that we need to look into. And also, about the information, during the arrival of the tourist, newly arrival of the tourist, so they say the welcoming time of the guests. Normally in every hotels, when the new flight came, the following morning, they have a briefing where all the stakeholders are invited to market their business. At this time, the drivers were part of them, but for one reason, they exempt drivers from that. They don't allow drivers to go attend that welcoming time.
Which of the drivers are you talking about?
The tourist taxi drivers. Yes,
They are exempted.
they are exempted from that.
Who managed that meeting, or who called for that meeting?
Well, normally this is in old hotels. This is operation on,
For instance, where you are serving where you park your car.
where if every hotel has a garage.
That hotel, when they have
This welcoming work exactly.
and when the season starts, for briefing, they always exclude the,
Exactly. Most of the stakeholders have been invited, but the drivers.
when you are a rightful stakeholder.
Exactly.
Is there any MOU between you and them?
No, this is normally it's a general operation in the industry for all the stakeholders.
Okay.
But the reason why we have been exempted, we don't know, and we have been asking this question up to now. We can be integrated in the system. So these are some of the things as of now we can highlight.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Baba.
If I may, I know there are most should be 1 or 2 success stories that we can also learn on. That's just
Directly to him, let him see. It's a concern based on your briefing.
Yes.
He found there are certain information or necessary things which you don't express, and we want to know.
Hello, good afternoon. My name is Baba Sis. I'm a Tourist Taxi Association president. You know, I want to explain something about our operation. You know, starting Atlantic to down Saraton, we have one umbrella, that's Tourist Taxi Association control all. Each hotel has a controller. Each controller has a badge, has a table. In case tourists need taxi, he has to come. All cars in the car park is listed. The contact number, driver, and vehicle number, all is listed. When he requests the tourist requests the taxi to go to Abuko, he knows Mr. So, that's the name, that's your driver, his name Lamin Sise. He will drive you from Atlantic to Abuko. So anything missed in that particular car, you go back to the controller. He will call the person directly. There's your client, he missed something. Because of the African Code of Conduct, all drivers, they know. They want to drive with the yes, you are ambassador of the country. Handle it carefully. You drive carefully with them. You explain to them something important. You should take care of their life. So all hotels, the same operation. So this welcome meeting before, during the first regime, the create of the controllers. Each meeting, they invite one controller. Also, explain his business to the tourists. But you know, we are charging our price from 1 to 4, from 4 to 14. That's our maximum cash warehouse. But the tour operators, you know, they are charged per person. You see the difference? That's why they stop us directly. Because of the tour operators. Because we are charging from Abuko to Banjul to Abuko, this is the price for all car vehicle. But for them, they charge per person. So if the controller come, explain the business in the front of just, they will be cheaper. 4 people, you pay 500. So if they charge you per person, maybe 30 euro or 40 pounds or 50 euro or $50. You know, it's a big difference. But before it's okay because of the government arrangement. It gives Tourist Taxi Association for Stito, Rasulin, the other programs for tourist taxi handle that. But the other parts, no business for us. No business for us at all. As tourist taxis. Because of during the Yankwa tourist time, we start have this problem. He was Susanna time, he accept, he's going fine, no problem. But the time Yankwa came, he said no. He said no. So we start chanting. The director for tourism, we approach him, discuss with him, he agree. But when he want to go up to the minister's level, he said no. So we have a very funny condition we are. Since Ebola, impasse, for this COVID, we have a problem. Really, we have a problem. The business we have now in hotels, the tour companies do this hiring, private hiring companies, they give all business to them. So taxis are parking there, no business. Before the time we make a green, they said, this private hiring, we will give it to you, make your car as a green, we protect your earning. But that's nothing done. We will see the meeting in Senegambia, we know that there's a big meeting. We send our drivers there, we'll get the contract from the company who has a meeting. They said no. They said we should not take green directly. So we have a good cars. Any type of vehicle we have it in the car parks. If you want any type of car, we have it there, from 1 to 14 passengers. But we have a problem. The problem is we are there creating through the government level, but we are not protected. And secondly, the act, the government making for tourism. The act is there, but never implemented. If he did this would be a punishment on it. Nothing done there. So that means
Tourism Act, right?
Tourism Act. Nothing done. They can force us to pay tax. If you don't pay tax, the fine is 5,000 if you want to operate there. But they force you also to pay. But those who are pirates, there's no law there for them. So that's a condition now. But my other colleagues are there. They also can add something there.
Can I ask a question? Apart from the act, no, I just want to ask, just to help him. Is there any bylaw that is being used between you and them? Agreed.
No.
The tourism board directs policy.
They all make policy.
Sector. So I think maybe it would have been wise to have invited them.
Them, yeah.
Because they do the books and the regulations and the policies and the regulations.
We'll meet with them.
Yes.
But if you want to make them,
Sorry. Yeah. All right. Now, are you done with what you want to explain?
yeah, I'm right.
Okay. Then the next institution. Any other thing we allow them all to do, then we can come. Then we can come. The next institution. I think. Who's the next institution? Yes.
I think you want to say something.
No, say.
Yeah, thank you so very much. I am Mr. Jerry Kamara, Chief Servant to National Tourist Guides Associations. First and foremost, I just want to thank you immensely for having us here. Having said that, I definitely want to furnish you with the progresses that we made the past 4 years. For the past 4 years, from 20.
Can you use the mic, please?
Yeah, I'm using the mic. Are you getting it? All right. Yeah. we've been doing quite well for the past 4 years, even though we are in this coronavirus. Some time ago, the association happened to give about $4,000 to each tourist guides, about 50 people, amounting to $200,000. Again, we were able to build another office, and currently, as I am speaking to you now, we are also building another office as well. So we are doing quite well. It's only that there is no tourists in the Gambia. Otherwise, we will do what we could. But I mean, that's everyone's problem. So because there is no tourists, definitely that's affecting the whole industry. But again, we as executive are doing our very best to help our membership to build the offices during this corona time. And yeah, we are progressing. We have no problem with that. And if we come to our constraints, we have numerous constraints. One of them will be piracy. You have people who are not registered tour guides. You see them within the industry, guiding, taking tourists wherever they want to take them to. That's a big problem for us. And also there should be distinction between the stakeholders within the industry and who should do what. For instance, I am given the opportunity to be a guide. I should be doing guiding and guiding only. If you are a driver, you should be doing the driving. If we are a hotel worker, you do the hotel, you stay at your station. But in some cases, you see some overlaps, which we think, is affecting our job seriously. So we are not excelling. You will realize that we came in 1997 and the government selected about 60 youths. It became a success story. After 3-4 years, the government trained another 60, 120. And as I am speaking to you right now, we have about 38 registered members, meaning from 2020 to 2001 until date, there is no training because we haven't so many constraints. And me as a chief servant, if I do not create job opportunities for the youths of this country, I'll not be comfortable in my life. But these are some of the things that I would like the National Assembly to help us with Gambia Tourism Board, to help us to do some of these things. Otherwise, the guiding system will be killed in this country. And guiding is a profession that needs to be nurtured. And we have already our 3-year strategic plan that is in 2022. Now, as I am speaking to you, we are building an office, which is sponsored by Gambia Red Cross Society, about $500,000. And in next year, 2023, what we want to do is capacity building our membership to be more equipped and also to generate more funds for the scheme. In 2024, definitely we want to also to have at least 3 more offices and then also do training. The reason why we want to have 3 more offices, so that when we have this training, recruitment of the youth of this country, when they come, they will have a place to be. But without offices, they will not be able to be there. And as I am speaking to you, some of our offices are congested. They need to be decongested. We also want to have a collaboration with the hotel associations and also Gambia Tourism Board, of course, with our line ministry. In that, we will be able to achieve our goals within 3 years. That is what we are in for at the moment. Yes, that's what I have for now. Maybe if you have any question that you want to ask, yes. And the other point is we do have a problem with some areas. If you go to Janjambure, you have tourist guides there. And then you go to Jufre, you have tourist guides there and other places. But our rapport with most of these tourist guides is not that cordial, simply because, the connection there wasn't arranged compared to the ones that you have in Jufre. At Jufre, after the training, we were invited and they told them their roles, their responsibility. You will realize that as a tour guide, like a freelance, you are the escort. You are the escort. You are also the guide, you are the manager, and also the operations manager. So if you happen to take the tourists from the hotel, it's your responsibility to make sure that you take the tourists to a particular place, do your job there, and then you bring the tourist back to the hotel. So in the event you arrange some form of a job for the use of that community, they need to work with the tourist guides coming there. We need to know them. Who are these people? We sit down and discuss, so that whenever we come there, we just say, oh, these are our brothers, and they are here for this so and so. Then you can easily say, ask their services. That is what is happening in Jufure. But apart from Jufure, we are not, having such things. We also have other tour guides, but these tourist guides are not certified. They don't have training. They call themselves official tourist guides. And sometimes when they have problems, the NIAs will just come to our office and ask us to give a report. Of course, you can give a report, but you don't know nothing about that very event, because, these people call themselves official tourist guides, but they are not, official, official tourist guides, definitely, because they haven't gone any training. I understand that there are other guides who have been trained, and they know, of course, their job. But you have another places where you know that these people are not trained. And definitely, as a guide, you should have a form of character. If you don't have that, you cannot be a guide. Thank you so very much.
All right, good afternoon all. Like my colleague rightly mentioned, we are the National Tourist Guide Association. He talked about many things, but I'm going to the area of some of our constraints. As official tourist guide, we are trained and well equipped to take the tourists around and beyond the Gambia. And our responsibilities is to make sure every tourist coming to the Gambia have a wonderful time and get back, and we'll be able to encourage more people to come back. As you all know, tourism plays a very important role as far as our economy is concerned. Now, in doing so, we always want to have a smooth relationship with all the stakeholders involved. Since we came into office, this was way back in 2017, what we try to do is to cement our relationship with all the stakeholders to make sure we have a conducive environment to operate as official or tourist guides, as you call them. But of course, going on our excursions, here, like somebody just rightly measures, the ferry crossing is a problem. Now, these are guests that are coming to our country, and they rely on us. Now, you go to this ferry crossing point, it's always crazy. So we would want at least this National Assembly to talk to the Gambia Tourism Board to give us some opportunities to have an easy, smooth passing by, going by back and forward at the terminal. The other thing is, as a nation, we're losing a lot when it comes to tourism. Now, the tourists are coming here, but guess what? They spend more money outside the country than inside the country. Somebody made mention that when the tourists come, they go out on a round tour. And the round tour is not just in the Gambia. It's only a few nights in the Gambia, and the rest is all in Senegal. So if we didn't take necessary measures, we will lose our tourism to Senegal very, very soon, because they are doing everything possible to get what is rightfully ours. You know, we spend a lot of money going to Fatala, and I believe we have everything it takes to have something like that in the Gambia. The space is there. I see no reason why we can't go into something like that. Each head pays nothing less than $1,700 to get into that park.
2,000 now.
See. So if we have something like, how many tourists are coming here? Go to the border. We have a problem because you're coming from the Gambia at the border. In fact, Gambia, we have privilege as guides. Sometimes we go to, oh, tourist guides, oh, tourist taxi drivers. But in Senegal, they don't care. And they don't have any respect for us because we need them. We're going to spend that huge amount of money in their country. At the same time, they have no respect for us. So something like that can be built in the Gambia and the money will stay. Then we will all benefit directly from it. The other thing is, I think there is also need for the people to be sensitized because a lot of people don't know who and what a tourist is in the Gambia. Now, going to the market is always a problem. Women in the market, people working in the market will call you all sorts of names. Okay, that's fine by us because that's our job. That's what I choose to be. But of course, we want some security for our guests. You know, people need to be sensitized because when a tourist take a picture, that doesn't mean that he is going to sell your image or so. And they don't understand. We try to explain, but I think if a mass sensitization is done on things like that, that will help to make our job easy for us, you know. And then tourism is very important. We also want the government to put it into consideration and put this into school curriculums so that the children growing up will know who and what is a tourist and how important tourists are. The other point is most of our historical sites are going. There need to be some preservations. Not long ago, I came from James Island. My dear, it's heartbroken. In few years, there will be no James Island. The history is gone if it is not preserved. We need that place to be preserved, protected, and very soon, because it's going very fast. I don't know when last you made a tour to that place. You need to go out and see these places for yourself. You have some first-hand information because it's important. Exactly, you need to do that so that you can see some of these places. And then the other thing is we want more Gambian-owned business in the industry because a lot is not Gambian-owned. In the hotels, restaurants, and so many other things. So we also want Gambians to involve in this. And then if they are given that opportunity, I think they can grow up with it, you know, because it costs a fortune to do certain things. But if the government is in support, it will make it easy for some of those people that are ready to involve themselves into business like those. Yeah. And of course, we want the River Gambia to be also protected, because it plays a very important role as far as tourism is concerned. So there are so many pollutions in the river. And then, with the mangroves, so many people are going into the mangroves and cutting them down. So we want also that places to be protected so that we will have more tourists coming to the Gambia. Thank you very much, everybody.
Good afternoon. I talk on behalf of the Gambia Hotel Association, which has been in existence since 1973. Now I have a rundown here of what we do, which I would be giving to you. So I'll just briefly touch on certain points so that we can spend more time going into our problems. Basically, what we do is to champion the training, representation, and corporate marketing. These are the areas we focus on, mostly on training, which is being coordinated by Marion over the past 20-something years. We also sit in committees that we are invited in to make policy documents. Recently, we have been engaged with the World Bank on this approved 68 million. They've engaged us in so many meetings. The tourism policy document too, we were engaged in. I used to sit with Omar when Susan Wofa was Minister of Tourism in so many committees. You had the tourism, the Security and Sensitization Committee. You had the Marketing Committee. So we've we are engaged in the sector in areas like that. We also support the Gambia Hotel Training Institute where necessary. So this is basically what we do. The detail is spelled out here, which copy I would give you, and then Antion would send you the soft copy. But it is all spelled out here. Can you please spell? Now, nothing much has happened during this COVID. Nothing much has happened. So even where we send our activity report, is just going to be a 1 page or 1.5 page document, because nothing much has happened. Most of what we have been engaged in is training and just meetings and trying to collect monies from one of our big tour operators that was owing the hotels over millions of euros. But we have since got our monies paid because we threatened to take them to court in Germany. And we had since got our monies, with the exception of 3 hotels, yes. Now, about the, someone mentioned about the all-inclusive. Now, I am going to say that GT board has, over the past, put in measures to control the all-inclusive. There is a big market, tourist market for all-inclusive. Now, what they have done of late is, for example, in Bakau, it's only one hotel that is allowed to do all-inclusive, which is Sun Beach Hotel. In the Kotu area, it's only one hotel that is allowed to do all-inclusive, which is Sunset Beach Hotel. You understand? So because otherwise we would lose out, because it is in demand now. It is in demand. But at least if those hotels have all-inclusive market, all-inclusive tourists, it leaves the other hotels to be able to fill their rooms. And it is not true that all the monies stays in the hotel, because what people want to be assured of is that their holiday is paid for, they have their food, but then they do go out and eat. But these things are things that you could find out from the tourism board. Now, the biggest threat for, recently, we've heard of this 400-bedroom hotel being built, which is going to be inaugurated in a few days' time. I just laughed. I'll tell you why. Before we built, they built Sheraton for the AU. There was this talk, Sheraton is coming to the Gambia. What ended up with Sheraton? Close, damage. Because the air access is not available. So you go and build a 400-bedroom hotel, spend so much money. After the OIC, I'm afraid if there is no air access, there won't be tourists. And it's just going to be another lost case like Sheraton. 90% of the tourists coming to the Gambia come by tour operators. We all know they come, these tour operators that bring them. It is a tour operator driven market. What is happening of late? When you come to the airport, you are harassed by this $40 charge. We spoke to the government, no one is listening. Our land ministry cannot do anything about it. The $40 charge at the airport. And yeah. So what I did was I started talking to the tour operators because they all keep complaining. I said, send me something written. So I got something from Gambia Experience. I got something from the Polish. And they're all worried. And the way and the manner in which this thing is done, and I would urge you, since you are sitting in this committee, and for the love of this country, I urge you to make your own investigation. It is an embarrassment. If this thing happens during the season, it's going to affect our tourism. I'm going to be very passionate about this. Right now, I asked one of the World Bank people, I said, what do you think when we had our meeting in Tamala, our lunch meeting? I said, what do you think about this charge at the airport? He said, it's a hassle. That was what came from this man's mouth. Because one of them didn't have a diplomatic passport or something. So I said, what happened? What do you think? Oh, he said, it's a hassle. So the same bombs in we are all talking about, it happens at the airport. And what they tell you, they tell you they don't have change. The way they approach people. So I asked one of the tour operators, can you get me other countries, how much they pay? Gambia, for 2018, they gave me some figures from 2018. And Gambia, I think the Senegal, for airport security tax, is charging 762 plus, let's say about 11,000 pounds. Gambia is charging 70,000. Sorry, 70 pounds, 70.47 pounds per head. It's up because after this 40, there is also some that is included in the tickets. You understand? Cape Verde, one of our closest competitors. Let me see. But anyway, I've got it here. Cape Verde is what? 15.78 euros. We are 70 pounds. Senegal is 762 plus 404. No, Senegal is 762. Sorry, 762. No, 7 pounds. 7.62 pounds. 2 pounds. We are 70 pounds. 70. Because I tell you what used to happen during Yahya Jammeh's time. You know, then, you know, if they say they're going to do a tax, they'll just do it, you know, regardless of the outcome. You know, but if we want tourism to go forward, and the government has to talk to the stakeholders, what you are doing here, engaging us. You know, they cannot do things in isolation. I must give credit to the Ministry of Tourism and the Tourism Board, because since I became chairman about 2 years ago, they have been engaging us. They have been engaging us. But this has to be, it has to come also when they want to raise taxes. But I'm going to avail you with copies from these tour operators and this schedule on this thing. Another problem that I see happening during this coming season, I used to smoke for 41 years. I just gave up last year. Yes. So, but I had to do it for health reasons. Yes. But I tell you, I see a big problem happening during this season, and it's going to affect tourism. Because I heard was it on TV, a health official saying that this year, in fact, or what did I read in the newspaper, that the GRA, the immigration, every security service official can, you know, enforce the law when it comes to this non-smoking ban. Now, a smoker, you can't smoke anywhere. Because 100 meters, it doesn't make sense. You can't smoke anywhere. So what is going to happen during the season is, and already it is happening, because you have a group of security officials, they go to a bar and then they start harassing guests. So what I am appealing from this government through you is that they have, let's say, smoking places. Yeah, special areas, designated areas. You understand? And then about because I did mention it to one of the correspondents to GT board, that we have to sensitize the tourists, because otherwise there'll be a case, a harassment case that would go negatively. And these days, people just go on WhatsApp and send it all over the world. And our industry is fragile. Our industry is very fragile. I've been in the industry as a manager since 2002. And every small thing, Every small thing, even when the Ebola, Gambia didn't have a case of Ebola, but then they all ran away. They all ran away. And that's why I keep saying also, with the tour operators too, it is a market. It is just recently in 2019 that we hotels have started having a voice, because they are coming in large numbers. So we can tell them, you either give me more money or I give you your rooms to somebody else. But before, they will tell you, this is the money I'm paying you. If you don't want it, I go to somebody else. There was a time in Okay. Sorry, I get excited and passionate when I... But anyway, basically, these are our problems. But then, since we've got your contact details, we would be furnishing you with whatever needs to be brought to your attention. Thank you. What to do?
We have an association called the Handicraft, the Gambia Craft Market Federation. I don't know whether you are aware that we have a federation of craft markets. But this letter was delivered to me as president of Senegambia Craft Market, and I think I am part of the Federation of Craft Markets. So I'm also the secretary to the Federation of Craft Markets and at the same time president of Senegambia Craft Market. I think the markets have same common problems. What affects Senegambia is what affects all the other markets. I'm sorry, my voice. Yeah, it's the first call. During this period from 2021 to 2022, we don't have much activities during the markets. As you can see that all the hotels are closed, no guests. So not much activities in the markets. Presently, if you go around the markets, you will see that most of them are dormant. It is only Senegambia Craft Market and Bakau Cape Point Craft Market which are vibrant at the moment. Not because there are so many guests coming in, but you're so tired sitting at home for quite a long time. And then you just decide that I should be going to the market, to free my mind, and reduce the stress. Anyway, as the craft markets have so many problems, but one of the main problems is that we don't have, during this period, we don't have much assistance from the government. We receive only $6,000. Only $6,000 during this period. And there were things attached to the $6,000. Not that everyone was qualified to have the $6,000. You need to produce a receipt of 2019 or 2020 before you are given the $6,000. We should not have been. So many people were excluded. Yes, but only those. But only that this was the COVID fund. But it was given to all the stakeholders, but there are things attached. We should not have been. This assistance should have come just like that. Everybody should have been qualified to access the assistance. But you need to produce a receipt of 2019 operational license or 2020 before you are given the 6,000. And that should not have been the case. Since COVID came and it struck all of us, there should not have been any strings attached. Everybody should have been should have access to the assistance. But that was not the case. So many people were left out. In Senegambia, 41 people did not receive this package. And likewise, other markets. And we appeal to the GT board to no avail. That only those who have license who have paid the license for 2019 and 2020 were qualified to have the 6,000. And that was the only assistance that we had during this period of the COVID. We also have another assistance from the UNDP, which was only $2,500. But that was open. Even those who were selling peanuts have access to that 2,500, unlike the 6,000. And that was it till today. I think we need access to finance. To finance our businesses, especially during these hard times. But access to finance is out of the way. It has never been easy to have access to finance. We need this finance also to attend trade fairs. Because during the off-season, no tourists, no business. At least we should also have access to finance to go outside to sell our products, to attend trade fairs worldwide. And that is not happening. The other problem is when marketing the Gambia outside, I think we also need to be included, because we also have some part to play in marketing the Gambia, because we market the Gambia every day. So when Gambia is being marketed outside, I think the handicraft sector should also be included in the delegation to sell, to market our Gambia in terms of the arts and culture. And that too is not happening. Okay. The other problems are, we used to have exhibitions in the hotels, almost all the hotels, but now that is not happening. Most of the hotels have stopped us from attaining from doing this exhibition inside their hotels now. And I think GT board and government should also intervene. And I think there should be a policy for there should be a policy, a government policy, or a policy from GT board or from the tourism ministry for them to dialogue with the hotels to allow the handicraft sector to have exhibitions inside the hotels. The problem is that I think the reason why that is not happening is because most of these hotels have shops inside who sell the same stuff that is being sold in the craft markets. And that should not be. But that is doing a lot of harm. Otherwise, the craft markets are just white elephants. I think the hotels should do what the hotels should do. Provide services for their guests. And leave the craft markets to sell the handicrafts and stuff like that. If at all we the handicraft, even if you go to the forex bureaus, they are selling handicraft. You go to the fashion shops, they are selling handicraft. But if the vendor in the handicraft market start doing this forex, like doing this exchange, like converting foreign exchange, you will have a problem.
Okay.
And that should not be. If you go down the beach, you have so many hawkers. Yes, if you go down the beach, you have so many hawkers around selling the same stuff that is being sold in the craft markets. You even have some craft, you even have some handicraft shops inside, within the beach. And that should not be. Along the beaches, if you are selling this bottle for $50 inside the craft market, if you go down the beach, you can get it for $5. You are confined inside the craft market. You are not allowed to move anywhere. If you have even seen selling your stuff inside along the biggest, the police, the security will have problem with you. So I think the security should not, or the GT board should not allow hawkers to fill the beach and the craft markets have no business. We're paying our taxes, but we're making no business because of the beaches. We got okay. Okay, thank you.
Honorable members,
Okay.
allow you to do your briefing. Take note. Now, the floor, some of them have some questions or doubts or concerns. Yeah, for them. Honorable members. Francis. About all ever engaging, emphasize
Not specifically, but it comes up during meetings.
about the all.
No, it has been discussed. Okay. It has been discussed during.
Sorry for not informing you earlier. You are live. All of us are live. Everybody is saying somebody down there.
Oh, okay. You should have been warned before. Oh yes, no, but don't worry about that. I am one person who speaks frankly, and I think that reputation goes with my name. We have talked with the GT board, but I think the problem is the GT board should take the initiative and educate the public. We have to discuss it. If we discuss, then the public will see the reason why, or this all-inclusive, we have it here or not. That is what needs to be done. It is.
Engage some of the stakeholders when it comes to that COVID form. Now we all realize that COVID had an impact on stakeholders when it comes to tourism. And we are all made to understand that there was a time that an amount was given to the ministry, say $100 million, that was supposed to be shared among the stakeholders in the industry. We were made to understand that there are some stakeholders who benefited and some did not benefit. So we were trying to find out the reason why some benefited and some did not when it comes to that COVID fund. As chair of the Gambia Hotel Association, do you have any clue about that fund as well?
No, I think that is, the hotels were given some money, between, I think 100,000 to some got up to 500,000 from this money. They also paid our municipality rates for 1 year, and also our operation license to GT board, from that money. But
So this year also we had 50% discount.
discount, yeah. This year they've given us 50% discount No, but for the 100 million, they paid our members. Yes.
Members who registered under your
No, but some hotels, yes, that were not even members of the Gambia Hotel Association.
okay, but you classify them as stakeholders.
Yes, but we can only talk for our own members.
Okay.
Yes.
The registered ones you're talking of.
Yes.
Because we, as a committee, we had some arguments with some of your stakeholders that some benefited and some did not benefit out of it. So we were in doubt. What were the criteria that we are used to qualify one and disqualify another one? So this is why I'm putting this question to you, whether your association.
Yeah, I know that the GT board, we were informed, they engaged some consultants about this 100 million. And most of our members, had received some monies from or benefited from this 100 million, even though the amount was small, but they did benefit.
Can I say something?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, thank you. With regards to the National Tourist Guides, I mean, we've received our money, and even the deaf received it, simply because the minister says that those who pay their license will be given the money.
Okay, that's understandable. Those who pay their license.
Yes,
that's
will,
fine.
will be. So for me, even, I mean, one of my guy paid the license, but he passed away. So I happened to write to GT board to request the money, and then the money has been taken to the family.
Okay,
So I think sometimes also we have a problem with the stakeholders within the industry. I think, the leaders, they themselves also should put their houses in order, because, otherwise my guy will not have that $6,000. Just recently, we're just from training, business training. Again, we are 38, and all my members got that money. Each one was given $37,000 from Red Cross. We all happen to put our business plans. So through the business plan, you will be given $37,000. And some of these associations are given $30,000 simply because their presentation wasn't good. So I think also the leaders also should, take up the responsibility and lead, so that when things like this come, you will be at a better position to ask the authorities, look, you asked us to pay the license, you asked us to do this, we've done all these things correctly, so it's my responsibility, it's now my turn for you to give me what you've promised me. If the leaders are not taking up the responsibilities, it will be a problem. And that is one problem within the industry. So my people all got $37,000. It's only two who got $30,000. In fact, even the two, I'm still pushing. Because they asked us to apply, we applied. Attend the training, we attend the training. Present your business plan, we present. So you have no choice to reject us. So if the leaders are monitoring, they're looking thoroughly what their people are doing. You put everything I mean into consideration, you will not have such problems. So I think, we also have a gap that we need to push and then make some things correct. Otherwise, it will.
We'll take our
Yes.
our best we can.
Yes.
It's got stocks off.
Yeah, concerning about the same phone issue that they've been given by Red Cross, we even wrote a letter pertaining to that issue at this assembly now. The tourist taxi drivers are being exempted from benefiting from this phone. We want to know the reason why.
Did you find out with them or?
Of course, we do.
What was the response?
Well, when we went to the minister, from the GT board to the minister, refer us back to GT board. We went to GT board engaged them. And after the consultation meeting, they have been instructed to integrate because there was no reason you can say that the tourist drivers will be affected with this COVID.
Can you clarify? You're talking of Red Cross phone or COVID phone?
This is Red Cross phone.
Red Cross phone.
Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
When we even wrote a letter, right now, we already submitted now, it's with you at the moment, claiming why we are being exempted. The minister instructed GT board to find out why the drivers are being exempted from this phone. Because from day one, GT board members have been engaged, part of this initiative. He can't understand why drivers are being exempted. And the follow-up was still made from Red Cross, and up to now, there was no response. There was no reason given to them or to us why we are being exempted. That's we want to use people to committee to find out why.
We'll take note and then make a follow-up.
Please.
Okay, thank you very much.
Any members, any other questions?
That is Drivers Association.
Yes. Among all the stakeholders.
Yes, yes.
Any other questions? Oh, yes, or no?
Okay, I had a complaint that some are entering into your business. Do you have anything in mind what should be the modalities?
No. Yeah.
So what are the modalities you might be thinking? Should in case that the government has to interject or the tourism has to interject, stop. Do you have any mechanism in place? Because I think you yourself should protect your business first. Because when you register a business, to have a license to know your TOR where your business and where it starts and where it starts. So by giving the opportunity to those people to venture into your business, which is threatening your business over there, I think you should come up with a solution. We should listen to the solution whereby if we can help, that's why we can do. But let me say you cannot impose some law while it was go through the time. So we would like to hear from you, your organization, to go on a drawing board, sit down and think about the resolution you want to put on. From there, the government, if it is necessary, the government will chip in to help and guide what we can do. But as now, Gambia is a free state and it's a free monitoring state, we cannot impose anything on those people. But it has to come from you. Come up with a resolution. See what to do.
I think complete. And maybe my question may go towards taxi driver association. All inclusive parking. I had the president saying that all inclusive seems what would work for them. If I have the one. Yes, okay. All inclusive package, I think there have been complaints around it over and over. And it seems equally the top operators are more in control. Out there, do the marketing, bring in the tourists, and also decide what to pay, where they should sleep, and all. As associations, it does not impact to the two, but collectively, associations, what do you think could be advice to this body as to what could be the way forward? I think there are other possibilities when it comes to development of the country and also when it comes to forests. But again, the impact that we can make on monetary aspect. What do you think would be your advice, both to the state as
In all countries in the world, where tourism boasts of large numbers, the government invests. What we have failed to do as a nation over 57 years is invest in tourism. We don't invest. What we expect to taxes, we always take, we don't invest. In other countries where there is a problem, let's say a bomb threat, the government invests on marketing. But here we don't invest. In fact, the airport, we are one of the most expensive destinations at the airport. The charges. Exactly. So then, about the craft markets, let the government organize. We've got beautiful craftsmen. We've got nice culture. Look at Ghana. I watched on TV. In London, they have this thing where the Ghanaian culture is being exposed. Just yesterday, I was watching this thing. Last year, they had few. This year, it was packed. Ghanaian musicians, they sell Ghanaian clothing. You know, it's invest. But we don't invest. And then we say, I laugh, honestly. I've been in the industry since 2002 as manager. And I laugh. Because every year, the numbers, we cannot even have 500,000 tourists. And every year is better. It's better. By what? 10,000, 20,000. By now, we should be 2 million tourists coming to the Gambia. We should be.
I think that's right.
We should be. Air access. No, I'm serious.
No, it's true. It's from here to Europe is 5-6 hours.
Thank you very much.
You have the best sun. You have the most friendliest people in the world. You have it.
Look at the negative impact.
Okay.
No, I'm just listening.
I was just adding that this is a yearly figure that we are looking at. Tourists don't come at the same time. We're talking from January to December. This may also eradicate the issue of seasonality, which is another negative, it has a negative impact on our tourism. So we really need to look at the air access. It's key. Otherwise, we will continue to depend on the tour operators who only operate 6 months. And when they go, we have nothing to offer. All hotels are closed, unemployment figure increases, and we all go and sit at home for 6 months and then come back. That is not business. Since 1965. Since 1965. It's been operating.
Sometimes the blame goes on the proprietors of the hotel because the rating of hotels, you go to Ghana, say, you go to Senegal, the neighboring countries, even a 1-star hotel, 2-star hotel, you come to the Gambia, you cannot compete a 5-star hotel here and a 2 or 3-star hotel in Senegal because of the facilities. Because last week we had the same experience. We were checked in a room at a hotel. I don't want to name the name of the hotel because it may be detrimental to the owner. Sure. We were checked in. We had 2 days seminar in a hotel. We were checked in certain rooms as governments. We feel it's one of the best hotels in the country. But we had some colleagues from neighboring countries, say from Ghana. She was checked in a hotel. When they opened the room for her, she got in. Within 2 seconds, she said, "Not this hotel." But then these are problems for us.
But if I may, please, after this meeting, I will come and get the name of the hotel. We need them to improve. Don't just sit on that sort of information. It will not help us.
I mean, we are all members. We are checked in a hotel.
Yeah, no, just a quick one because this said the government need to invest.
Yeah.
More especially on carriers, like a national carrier.
But even bring down these things to India. And also advertise in the right destinations. And put your money in the right place. You know.
But again, the tourism, the tourist board, they want to go for marketing. So I will tell you, they are paying the government coffers. Or not outside, they are paying dividend.
You know, you see, you must do, if you want to develop tourism, it must be a holistic approach. It's not just going to market trade fairs. The airport taxes has to come down. You understand? You have to look at it at a broad base, not just one area. Not about the hotels. I come in defense with the hotels. I can assure you that the hotel standards have improved from when I started managing in 2000 to date. They have definitely improved, but there are problems now and then.
But sometimes the rating is a problem.
Well, the GT board has done rating, and we have sat in committees to do the rating. They do their own rating. You know, the top operators to do their own rating also. Independent of what GT board does. Yes.
Because in the Gambia here, sometimes we rate hotels as 3-star, 4-star, which are below 1 star. So these are problems for us.
We'll take it up with the Gambia Tourism Board.
Yes.
Because there is a classification.
Yeah, because
process, yes.
Because we travel to other countries, we've seen the rating. When we have our colleagues that comes and travel to our country, sometimes it's embarrassing to us.
Okay.
A short one.
Honorable Member,
Yeah.
you also have one.
Yeah, short one.
Yes,
Yes.
let's make a summary, please.
Okay.
Let's summarize.
This one goes to the tourist guide. I think you mentioned, like when you go with the tourists, when they're taking pictures, some people are denying it. People need to sensitize what is tourism. So in another way around, we check it. You know, some people have experienced this. Your picture is taken, you go and see it in social media, which is not correct. You are not going out with the tourists. You should also guide them, advise them, our culture and norms, what we don't like. You should also, protect our cultures. This is another thing that you also have to engage in the tourists.
Well, as a chief servant and as tour guides, well before we leave the office, we must give information. And one of these information.
In many cases, you can just take your picture from the village. Sometimes you go on Facebook, you see yourself in a different place.
Yeah, my tourist guides are the one carrying the Gambia flag with a blue uniform. And these are the national tourist guides, trained by the ministry, certified by the ministry. So they've gone through the trainings and they know the do's and don'ts of guiding. So before we leave, we must give information as to what you should be seeing outside. So you are not just carrying tourists like escort. So most of the time it's only the escort guides who will let tourists to take pictures anywhere that they go. But for us, we always give information as to what, you should be doing when you are out.
The second one will be the issue of Fatala.
Yes. Yes.
So we are seeing that a lot of the income we get from tourists.
Yes.
So why not we all come together and then see what is in Senegal? Let's try and have it here.
Yeah, again. Yeah, we have a King West National Park. I think it's 10 times bigger than Fatala. If government could venture into that place, it would be ideal. Tourist guides have been advocating this well before Fatala was found. We've been saying it, that we need to revive King West National Park. Then our money will stay here. It's not going to cross the border. So like my colleague rightly said, anytime that you cross the border, it's a nightmare. Again, you know how much money you put into Senegal's coffer. It's another thing also as for us. So sometimes you just go to Senegal, just because you are a guide, you want to have your, daily meal, but you are not happy taking the whole money to Senegal. They want to have holiday in a holiday. They do say holiday in a holiday. So they will just cross the ferry. It's exciting, yes.
Sir.
Yes, sir.
Don't you think that actually reflects on the way we actually promote destination? Because for me, we have a very, very authentic destination.
Yeah.
But then it seems we are all working separately.
Yes.
We're not kind of supporting each other. We're not kind of coordinating the activities of the industry. But personally speaking to you, I was one time a guy.
Okay.
When your official guys come to my community, hardly they surrender tourists
Yes.
to the local guys on the right.
Yes.
And that's trade and unseen. I'm just giving you a typical example.
Fair
That tells you how us as Gambians don't actually support each other in what we do.
Yeah.
That is just one.
Yeah.
Two, you talked about that when you go to James Island or Jeffrey, you have the local official tour guides taking lead,
Yes.
which I know very well because I have.
Yes.
But the reason why tour operators, the official tour guides, you name them, are surrendering tourists to those people, it's because there is something written and why. But again, for me, I think even if things are not written on black and white, this ethical practice, we should be able to embrace it and bring all of us together. Like you said there are tour guides in other parts of the country. Like you go to Washington Stone South,
Yes.
there are emerging young people who are trained by the National Center for Arts and Culture
Yes.
to become tour guides.
Yeah.
You go to Kiribati, you'll find something similar. But again, I think your office as a national institution or as the CSO
Yes.
should also go out there to help in decentralizing your work and also getting to involve those that are to also play a part and have a way in young people.
Yes.
Yes, no, because those young people around those communities, with their trainings,
Yes.
exactly.
Yeah.
With their trainings, I think your office has been involved directly. Because I recall 2 years ago, when the Tour Guide Association, the National Tour Guide Association, the hotel owners and all non were kind of put together to go on a nationwide tour. See some of the new products that are developed. And the promises have been, yes, anytime we come to these communities, we will hand over. But it never happened. You still see either the official tour guides or tour guides from the tour leading tours. And to make it worse, in fact, the information they disseminate many times are not accurate. For example, you go to my community in Janjamuru, you want to talk about this, you start misinforming. You start pointing at buildings saying they are either slave houses or underground. Actually, we have better rural and economic products that we can sell. But we are not doing this. So for me, I think we need to go back to the drawing board and redesign.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we will still get
Thank you so very much, sir. But I mean, the thing is, with regards to the national tourist guides, like I said before, we are trained by the government, certified by the government, and licensed by the government. So if you train someone there, we don't know about it. If you want us to have a collabo with that person, you should invite us. Tell us, these are the people that we've trained here, and we want you to work with them. This is what happened at Jufure. They trained the youths there, they informed us, we had a meeting with them, we know who these people are. We want to hand over our tourists to the people in uniform. We want to know who you are. So your responsibility as a guide is to take the tourists and then bring the tourists back to the hotel. Because at the end of the day, we will give you a book for the tourists to write a report. If you left with that trip, I'm sorry, the disciplinary committee is there to punish you. And none of these people have that such, look, they have no disciplinary committee. We have a disciplinary committee who is dealing with issues.
No, there is also something that needs to be clear, because once you say that was not the tourist guide, it was the grand tour operators that were leading that tour. I want to clear that out to you. Category B and A. Exactly. Yeah.
No, we were not.
Yeah, thank you very much. It's a similar question. It's just to say like, I was just trying to ask him the plans because since they are tour guides, and when they go to this local find some tour guides, even though they are not official, do you have any plan?
Yeah, like I said, I mean, we have a three-year plan, and that is this year, on the last quarter of 2022, we are building an office at BB. Currently, we are building. And 2023 is to capacity building for our members, and also to generate more money. In 2024, if the Hotel Association, Gambia Tourism Board, and the ministry support us, we want to have a recruitment, because our membership was 120, and now we have just 38. You will realize that we have about 50 hotels in the Gambia. Just 20 hotels to accept 2 guides there, you have 40 straight away. We have 8 offices. Each office could have 10 tourist guides. You have 80. Now you're trying to help the youth to have jobs. So we have no problem with that. Our problem is we just want to expand our tentacles. And after that, we also want to collaborate with the Hotel Association, and then also the GT board. And
because at our side, we have to.
yes,
But because of the transport was
yeah.
so it's in my mind. And also Honorable CSK guy, and he's the Deputy Speaker, National Assembly. So some of you are also national members. And a member. Because this is a team. Because I think these are stakeholders so we should work to do tourism. What we are seeing, all of us are working trying to put together. Because you know this almost 5 years I'm just working as a in fact doing some money the drivers because if they have to take a so what I'm seeing, some of the hotels, they already after trying to get their because what is the about the staff? All these people, briefing, include them. Look at your past policies. What did you take on from the last season? What are you for this season? And what's the point of the tourist guide, whoever, the hotels, they also in making this at least. So I think what you do is invite the minister we'll discuss with them. We'll see how this stakeholders can come together as one. So thank you so much for coming to overwhelmed. And thank you because if we are looking at the
We will come back to it later. But we have to go looking at some of the things which you have highlighted. How best we can. Thank you so much.